is pretty. Have you ever been here before?
No, I think maybe driving through, but I actually haven't ever stayed here or anything like that.
So when you read this file, our victim, Harold Behill, 63 years old, was just a simple guy, not bothering anybody, minding his own business, just like my dad. All Daddy wanted to do was fish and drink and hunt. Friendly to everybody in the hotel. Who in the heck would want to kill him?
Sad deal, just a sad deal.
When I first read the case of Harold Behill, I felt immediately connected to the case because he reminded me so much of my dad. He was hardworking, he was a devoted dad to his 2 grown kids, and he loved the outdoors. And his shocking murder was a tragedy to everybody that knew him.
He's got that little world of friends. He's got like a girlfriend he probably gives a peck on the cheek at
Right.
night. He's such a low-risk victim. You'd never expect this to happen.
On July the 1st, 2016, Harold left his girlfriend's house around 11 p.m. and returned home. 5 days later, his daughter Valerie discovered his severely decomposed body on the top step of his doorway. His face was almost unrecognizable.
You go to those scenes where you've got a badly decomposing body and bullet holes don't look like bullet holes, stab wounds don't look like stab wounds. They did look at the shirt. They didn't see a hole initially. And then unfortunately, it looks like the clothing was taken off and destroyed.
And then he's cremated.
And he's cremated right away. It was initially believed that Harold died of natural causes. But months later, a review of a CT scan taken at the time of Harold's death revealed a bullet fragment in his spine, indicating that Harold had actually been murdered. When investigators spoke with Harold's family, one name quickly emerged as a suspect. His uncle, David Behill, who actually lived right next door to Harold and had been feuding with him for decades. It's a theory that has haunted the family ever since.
The house where this happened, Harold left it to Valerie, his daughter. Every day when she comes home, she's walking right past the spot where her dad ended up dying and then had to live blocks away, feet away from the person they felt might be responsible.
I just can't imagine that. But she deserves an answer here.
You gonna help me through these rocks?
You got your high heels on?
You gotta do something, Houston.
You weren't pushing.
Hello, guys.
How you doing?
Steve Spagola.
James Levine, sure.
Thank you. So I'm Kelly, sir. Nice to meet you.
Oh, hello.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Nice to meet you. George Martinez.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. Really appreciate you guys coming out and helping us out
We're
with this
excited.
case.
Do you think we can stay hidden and covert for a few days before everybody in the town knows what's happening?
Probably. Nobody's going to want to talk to him. He looks like a
He
family.
looks like
Yeah.
a Yankee, doesn't he?
I'll dress down, don't worry.
Y'all got a good place for us to work?
I sure do. Come on in.
Let's go.
I grew up in the area, and it's a very small, tight-knit community. We put a lot of our time and effort on this case. It's very important to our department. We want to get justice for the family, but we also want to get this community feeling safe again.
So we got a picture here of Harold Behill. And he was how old when he died, guys?
63.
63 years old.
Through all the family members that we've talked to, friends, he was a great person. Would take the shirt off his back for anybody. Worked for many, many, many years doing carpentry work. So he was always taking care of his family. Loved the outdoors, loved to fish, loved to hunt and hiking. He had his horses, a lot of camping trips.
This is Harold with who?
That's Harold's daughter, Valerie.
She's the one that's been like the driving force trying to get
Yes.
this hooked into.
Yeah. Valerie Trujillo, Harold's daughter, I could imagine what she's going through, knowing that there's still someone out in the loose that ever got punished for what he did. It's very important for us to solve this case.
When poor Harold got murdered, it started with people thinking it was a natural, and give us the progression of how we get to where it's an investigation.
July 6, 2016, Valerie arrived home to find her dad deceased at the front porch of his residence. She called law enforcement. They arrived at the scene. They see Mr. Behill slumped down right in front of his door. He's already mummified. He's discolored. They knew it was a male, but they couldn't identify him. He was just so decomposed.
Harold's body was found 5 days after it was believed he was killed. His family and friends thought he was camping, so when no one heard from him for a few days, they weren't immediately concerned.
They didn't see any foul play, any evidence of it could have been some kind of struggle. They assumed that it was natural causes and he died of a heart attack. So they do an autopsy on him. OMI just did a CAT scan on him. The family wants a cremation, so they cremate Mr. Behill. After a couple months went by, they determined from the scan that was done that he was shot by somebody. CAT scan showed a bullet in his spine. Deputy Salazar did a follow-up. He interviewed lots of people. Nobody heard any gunshots. Nobody heard nothing.
Okay.
During the follow-up investigation, Sergeant Robert Salazar returned to the crime scene to search for shell casings and bullets, but recovered nothing. making it unclear on the property where the shooter even fired at Harold from. Members of Harold's family and inner circle, including his friends and girlfriend, were questioned and quickly cleared, all except one.
All right, so we're going to put up here David Behill first. Who is Harold's what relation? Their uncle and nephew, right?
Correct.
How old is he now?
78.
So he would have been 73. David was Harold's uncle, but because there was only a 10-year age difference between them, they were raised more like brothers. But as the years passed, that relationship became very strained. If it's true and he's our murderer, why would that have happened?
David got upset because David's mom
Yes?
gave Harold Sr. more property than what he got.
And things start getting heated and ugly.
Harold inherited a large amount of the compound-like property that the Behill family resided on, which David felt was rightfully his. This began a feud that lasted decades, and a dispute over an easement road leading to the highway actually fueled it even further.
So what's the big fight over?
Is the gate that David Behill keeps locked and doesn't allow family access into that easement.
So he just decided on his own to install this gate.
From what I understand, yes. Where that gate comes in, his home is the first home off of the highway. So he feels that that property is his and he's entitled to him only.
So he's the first house there.
David Behill became enraged over what he thought were trespassers using his property as a shortcut. And about 10 years ago, he installed a gate to stop non-residents from using the easement road.
Everybody says he has a short temper, right?
Correct.
Or a short fuse and
Short
a bad
fuse,
temper.
Yes.
David Behill actually tried to deter Harold and his family from using the road by placing nails on it and angrily kicking their cars as they passed. As tensions escalated and the family became more fearful, Harold took David to civil court, where David was forced to give all the family members remote openers to the gate.
Was David happy about that ruling, right? Okay, not happy.
The odd thing is, the animosity between Harold and David had gone on for years. So if David did kill his nephew, why that weekend? Or was someone else responsible?
Okay. Unknown suspect. While it's clear that David may have had a motive for wanting Harold dead, we can't rule out the possibility that somebody else could be responsible. Nothing looked like a robbery or a theft or anything stolen.
No forced entry to the home or nothing.
No forced entry.
He's got money on him.
Nothing stolen.
His truck was right there.
Okay. We already know one suspect that Harold was having issues with, but could he have had another enemy? We'll need to dig into his world of witnesses, re-examine the ballistics and forensic evidence, and re-investigate the crime scene to see if we can get enough little pieces to build a circumstantial evidence case against whomever killed Harold. All right, let's go. Shouldn't this place feel like home? So Valerie will be here today, and who else will be here today?
His son Harold Jr.
Okay.
and Harold Jr.'s wife Rebecca.
Okay, great.
You know, another thing that they kind of worry about the family is that we start this, we open it up, and if nothing happens,
We're blowing the family wide open.
right.
My dad passed away 2 years ago, and my heart aches for Valerie and Harold Jr. They still live on the family property, and in Valerie's case, she still lives in the same house where her dad was murdered, right next door to the man that they suspect killed him. Hello? How are y'all? It adds a whole nother level of trauma for them, and it makes it even more urgent for us to get them answers.
I just want to kind of start out a little bit so that we can get to know who your dad was.
He's very generous. Always there if they needed him for his family. He adored his granddaughter and great-granddaughter. Yeah.
My dad, my partner.
What kind of hobbies did y'all do together?
Horseback riding, hunting, fishing. And,
So he was the outdoor type, huh?
yeah, and I loved it. Hold on. Take your time. He's gone. I didn't think nothing would ever happen to him. But in a way, he's still with us in spirit. When I do something in the ranch or the yard or something that he's still by me. So Valerie, I want to go back to the day you found your dad. Can you walk me through that a little bit?
I usually call him when I'm leaving to let him know that I'm coming on my way home. I was texting or calling, and there was a response. I didn't know if he was camping with his friends or where he was at. I ended up going to the house, and I was calling out to him, and he wouldn't answer. So then I went around the corner, and that's when I saw him there. On the porch, the kitchen door. I just started screaming for my brother.
I can't even imagine what that was like.
Young screamed, and I heard her from the house, so I ran up there.
At that time, y'all didn't know what the heck was going on, right?
No,
The day you found your dad, through the days that followed up until the funeral, how did you see David act?
I don't remember.
I don't even think he was around.
Did the whole family go to the funeral?
There was a lot of people.
Was he there?
No.
He didn't come? Why not?
But he never talked to my dad. I mean, the way he was, the situation, he didn't go.
I would think he would fake it a little.
Oh, he has no heart.
So I'm hoping and praying that you guys get him.
It's pretty clear that Harold's kids think that David is the one who killed their dad. If so, we're going to need to prove it. And if not, we're going to need to figure out who it was and why. I just hope we don't let them down.
He didn't deserve to die.
When Harold Behill's body was discovered, severe decomposition made it nearly impossible to identify any external wounds, and his death wasn't initially ruled as a homicide. No autopsy was performed, and his home wasn't processed initially as a crime scene would have been. Steve, George, and Paul, we are Reba County Sheriff's Department.
Hi.
So we need to learn everything that we can about his gunshot wound, the weapon that fired it, and where his killer was positioned to try and figure out how he was shot, and more importantly, who did it.
Postmortem imaging is an absolute requirement in decomposed bodies because identifying skin injuries in a situation like this is very, very difficult. A postmortem CT did find a retained bullet. The bullet was recovered in between the 11th and 12th vertebrae by the spinous muscles. Because the bones are still in good shape, they could tell that the bullet went underneath these ribs through the lateral right side of the 12th vertebrae, and it also went through the spinal cord with the trajectory going front to back, right to left, and upward.
The gunshot that severed Harold's spinal cord cut off the nerves to his legs, which could explain the unconventional way that his body collapsed, dropping straight down instead of falling over.
In the scene photos, it does look like there's a pretty large collection of maggots just above his belt on the right side of his abdomen. That could be the potential injury entrance.
Harold was shot facing his killer, and the bullet traveled in an upward trajectory. And while he was standing on steps, the upward angle actually appears a little unusual.
How you doing?
So we've asked ballistic expert Chris Robinson to share his insight on the possible position of the shooter, and if we can determine from the wounds which type of gun was used.
The first thing I want you to understand is it's simple trajectory analysis. When I overlay the protractor, you can see that the shot entered his body at a 12-degree upward angle. To sever the spinal cord, it takes a great deal of force. So the shot goes through the fat, it goes through the muscle, and then it still has enough energy to sever your spinal cord. The bullet's going really fast.
Is there anything that you can tell? What kind of gun?
No, ma'am, other than the fact that I believe we're looking at a rifle. It could be a revolver, but it's a rifle caliber bullet. Various rifle bullets can make this shot. If I shoot a .22 Magnum, you're talking about 1,400, 1,500, even 2,000 feet per second. So that may be a possibility.
What's the biggest gun y'all carry?
We carry 45 caliber.
Why can't it be a 45?
45 is a big, heavy, slow bullet. 45 is only going about 750. The bullet's half an inch in diameter, so when it goes in, all the energy is exerted into the body. The mass of the bullet is going to slow it down. A .22 Magnum is a small caliber, but the velocity of the bullet is so great that it will drive the bullet through the body. All right, now I'm going to show y'all exactly what the trajectory analysis shows me. We can go outside, and I'm going to set up a torso that I think will illustrate it more.
Okay.
You, Steve.
According to Chris, it's likely a rifle was used, possibly firing a .22 Magnum round. But a .22 is one of the most commonly used bullets, so while it's something to keep in mind while we interview witnesses, it may be difficult to match the gun that killed Harold with the shooter. So maybe taking a closer look at the trajectory will be more helpful.
This is going to be our real height that 5'3" Harold would have been, standing on top of the steps, going into his house.
Chris has placed a ballistic dummy at the height of where Harold would have been standing on the steps when he was shot, and extended a string to represent the trajectory of the bullet based on the angle of the wound.
That's impacting the ground at about 100 feet right there. That's about 100 feet from this mannequin. That's 33 yards. So that's the line how he would have had to have been struck to create the angle through his body.
Okay.
It has to be along this line.
Our goal is to determine where the shooter was positioned along the line. First step, close range.
The shot in this position, I can't think of the last time I saw somebody do a hip shot, right? There's no accuracy there shooting from the hip. Once I get back to about right here, maybe about 10 yards, I could create that angle by kneeling down. And then right there is perfect.
It doesn't feel like you would walk that close
Right.
and then kneel too.
Right.
From about 10 yards, Chris can create a scenario that aligns with the trajectory, but it does seem odd from that short a distance that a shooter would actually kneel instead of standing up.
I can continue to move back. Now I could be this far away and still make that shot.
Wow.
I create the same angle from a much greater distance.
When do you use a prone position shot?
Long distance for stability, and then if you want to be stealth, if you want to be kind of hidden.
Okay.
If you can make yourself more stationary, then the shot becomes easier.
He just has to wait for him to drive up, gets in position, gets ready as he gets out of his vehicle, and all he does is have to just lay down.
Do you agree with that? You like that shot, Steve?
I think it's great. We've come up with a theory for the position of the shooter. In reviewing the file, there's actually a woodpile across the street from Harold's home, with what appears to be a clear line of sight to Harold's front steps, and it's roughly 100 feet away, matching our trajectory analysis. Whether it was David Behill or an unknown suspect who shot Harold, we might have just figured out how they did it without being seen.
I mean, that's pretty awesome right there. You know what I mean? It's where it touches the ground, man. That's the evidence talking right there.
Nice, nice.
Morning comes, the sun rises, I see it out there. As I take my final breath, I hear this hill.
From reading reports, I thought that we'd be more in a rural area, but these are like trailers and smaller houses that are literally on top of each other.
Good Lord comes today, hope is very still. Lay me down.
We're going to be looking at where maybe the shot was taken from across the street. There was a wood pile, which everybody now believes is where the shooter was standing. We're headed to the home of Harold Behill, where he was fatally shot standing atop his steps. But this crime scene is unlike most we've ever done before, because David Behill, our suspect, lives only about 100 yards away. Hopefully we don't run into him today.
I got it all set up.
Yep.
So this is the victim's home. This is where the murder actually happened. Right here under this carport.
And the truck is accurate.
Correct.
The wood pile was where? Point.
Oh. The wood pile's gone. Wood pile was on the other side of this fence. That tree kind of obstructs the view from that wood pile.
Oh.
Kind of makes it a little harder to him to get a clear shot.
Can it even make the shot from the wood pile?
Let me go stand up there where the victim would be.
All right.
If you're standing up from here, you'll definitely rule it out because you can see there's
No way.
no path.
We threw out the wood pile now that we're out here, huh? Everybody's throwing out the wood pile theory?
Man, I've had lots of theories blowing up at the crime scene, but this has got to be in record time. Now that we've learned that a shot hiding out in that wood pile doesn't work, we have to consider different scenarios, including different firearms.
If the white truck is blocking the door where Harold is going in, we don't care about any of this.
Right.
And you don't like any of this because the tree messes up your shot. So we kind of like have a piece of pie here like this that you're focusing on, trying to figure out where the shooter could have been.
This tree here, look at the size of it. The shooter could have easily been behind the tree. This tree is good cover for him.
All right?
Harold drives up here. From right here as he parks, the shooter can see him.
Okay.
But of course that's much closer distance than we expected over there.
If a shooter was hiding behind the tree, it actually places them closer to Harold than we thought.
You be the shooter, and I'll be Harold.
For concealment, it makes sense. But the big test will be, does it work with the angle and trajectory?
So we get out of the car. I got my cooter in one hand, I got my keys and phone in the other.
So he has a lot of concealment. He has the tree. So right now he knows that he ain't gonna be seen. So he gets out. He comes here. Now he has a good path to make the shot. Harold.
Drop the cooter.
He's kneeling down. Fires.
Keys and phone. Drop here. From where you are right there, everybody thinks the direction and the angle work.
Yes.
Still, to me, it leaves open either a rifle or a pistol.
If you were going one way or the other, would you pick one or the other? Or you really think it's
I don't think you can on this one.
You don't? Okay, fair enough.
Now that we've created a scenario where we figured out that the shooter was standing a lot closer to Harold, it makes his murder feel a lot more personal. The evidence suggests that their sole intent was to kill Harold. They didn't approach him, they didn't steal anything, they just turned and left. While Harold spent the next few minutes slowly dying and writhing in pain.
Harold sat right here for at least a minute, maybe two, before he died.
Yes. But he would still have some upper body movement to manipulate himself. His phone will be there. If it was in his pocket, then maybe he was able to get it out, just wasn't able to get a call off.
Right.
Ah, that's horrible. Kind of makes it all just sadder. When you listen to Dr. Paneri talk about the whole way that when the bullet impacted his spine, he just fell to the ground, but he could still use his hands, and he still lived for a couple of more minutes. It just makes it all more real, and it just emphasizes even more what a longer, more painful, more scary way it was for poor Harold to die. All right, well, that was very helpful. Thank you very much for coming over here and doing this with us.
Absolutely.
We keep changing our mind, guys. But I think that we cleared out a couple of things. How are you? It's time for us to start talking to witnesses, starting with the last person to see Harold alive, his girlfriend Gladys. We're excited to talk to you. My name's Kelly. We're hoping that he might have opened up to her about any issues that he might have had with David Behill or anybody else.
So how long did you guys officially just start dating or recall?
Probably about 6 months before he passed away.
Oh, y'all were recently started dating then?
Yes.
Okay.
It hadn't been long. I went out with him. We went to dances. We went to dinner. The last time I saw Harold, he left my sister's. He had been there that night with us.
What time was this at for us?
Close to 11. Harold was a very quiet man. He went about his business. He wasn't the kind that would go out and pick a fight with somebody or have any enemies. I never heard anyone say bad things about Harold either.
Did he ever mention anything about having problems with any family members?
Yes, David.
David?
Yes.
Do you remember what he mentioned?
Just that he was in a dispute and he had to go to court. He was never one to really talk about his issues.
Gladys was not aware of any problems that Harold had with anyone besides David, but they hadn't been together too long. So we need to speak to other witnesses in Harold's world who might know more. We've split up to see if Harold's friends or family might have known of any other enemies that Harold had. Hello, are you Tina?
Hello, Tina.
Hello, may I speak with Tomas?
This is the man. Harold was like a son to me, so we were very close. It's sad because Harold doesn't know that this guy.
My hunting partner, my horseback riding partner. He's a super nice, generous person. Always helping everybody.
Did they have any disputes with anybody that would have done this to him?
Oh, he got along with everybody. Harold had no enemies. His brother was the only one that I know that threatened him.
Do you think there's anybody else that would want to do this to your Uncle Harold?
The only person he ever mentioned was David.
Yes.
Was he having any problems with anybody else?
No. David and Harold were like two little kids, always kicking sand in each other's faces. That was their life.
He had threatened Harold. Well, he wanted to beat him up with a pipe. And he told him that he's going to get him.
Le tengo miedo que me mate. Si le tengo.
I'm afraid that he's going to kill me. Did it scare us?
Oh, yeah, it's scary.
David
He
Harold?
would even shake when he would talk with us.
about you, he was safe.
He was scared of him. He always said, no, if they find me dead, that SOB killed me.
But for a long time, I started carrying a gun with me. Because I say, if I see Wanda, you will talk to you. Because I know what he's up to.
And David is a bad person. And in fact, I'm afraid of him.
He actually told me, if you find me dead, you know what happened.
We always say as investigators that we're the ones giving the voice to the victims because they can't speak for themselves. Fortunately, through these witnesses, Harold's doing a lot of talking and may just be helping us solve his own murder.
The victim's home right here, and they said the Padillas lived directly behind him.
We're learning as much as we can about our suspect, David Behill, and it's time that we talk to the witnesses in his world.
Hey there.
Fabian Padilla lives on the family compound, and he was there the day Harold's body was discovered. We're hoping that he's going to remember how David was acting that day.
Are you Fabian?
Yes, sir.
Paul Colomb, Sheriff's Office. Nice to meet you.
How are you, sir? I'm Kelly. Nice to meet you.
Fabian, nice to meet you.
We reopened the case with Harold.
And said, that was a sad one.
Well, you were there that day they found Harold, right?
Yes, sir.
That had to be a pretty horrible sight.
I tell you, that's the wrong way. I don't think anybody should go.
Yeah.
Stay there for 5 days, bro. I didn't recognize him.
That day that they found Harold, how did David act when he realized Harold was dead?
All I saw was David coming in, and David says, "Vete a paz con que andas cagando con el dando." Look at what happens to the ones that are screwing around.
What does that mean, messing around?
Screwing around? I don't know who, what, where.
With the gate, with money, with what? It wasn't clear.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's one thing I don't know.
We know that David had a tense relationship with Harold, but that's a cold thing to say after seeing his nephew dead. Maybe he was just expressing his indifference over Harold, but that odd statement is a beautiful piece of circumstantial evidence.
That statement alone is...
That's what you get when they mess around.
I think he's headed outside of the emergency room.
According to the file, David and Harold had separate dealings with the Valdez family over the leasing of ranch land. Considering that a property dispute is at the center of this case, Peter Valdez may have some information that can help us.
Tell me a little bit about Harold.
Harold's a nice person. We got along good, and my mom leased the ranch to Harold for over 18 years.
Okay.
Harold had a horse at my mom's property, and the horse got killed.
Do you know how it got killed?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know how it got killed. So then I was back at my mom's, and Harold came back. He was upset with David, Rocky.
You got the Rocky also.
And Rocky told him, lo que le pasó al caballo te va a pasar a ti. That means that what happened to the horse is going to happen to Harold.
When Harold was telling you that, how was he acting?
When Harold's talking to me, he's scared, like, I guess he's going to kill me. Me va a matar.
The allegation that David killed Harold's horse has never been substantiated. But if it is true, it's not only a cruel act, it's yet another time that David expressed his hostility toward Harold.
And then my aunt Josefina died. David was her caretaker. So then, when Josefina dies, Josefina's property is supposed to be my Uncle Joe's. Pero it's Rocky's property.
According to Rocky?
Yeah. My mom used to go with Joe to the courts. And David was there. And then we're going to have a hearing on Friday for the final signing of the papers for Joe's property.
Right.
Pero my mom disappeared on Tuesday night.
What?
Right before the hearing.
So you remember it was a Friday and your mom disappears on Tuesday? According to police reports, Peter Valdez's mother, Helen, was found murdered 4 months after she went missing. That case is still unsolved, but it sure seems that Peter believes that David could have been responsible.
David is very vindictive. Oh, yeah, you cannot turn your back on him.
There is insufficient evidence to prove that David killed Helen. All right, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
But if David was involved, this might explain why, after years of feuding, David chose that particular night to murder Harold. They had a court setting to go to court to talk about the gate dispute for July the 11th, where David was going to be ordered, they hoped, to leave the gate open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And Harold ends up getting shot July 1st or 2nd. And now, in Helen, right before the lawyer, right before the signing, right before the hearing, look what happens to the people involved on the other side of the legal dispute when you're dealing with David Behill.
Right.
Nice, nice. How are you? We're continuing our investigation into our prime suspect, David Behill, for the murder of his nephew, Harold. Arnold Garcia was a very close friend with intimate knowledge of the strained relationship between them. We're hoping that he might have some pieces to add.
I know it's been a few years back, but what do you remember?
It was a shock. I know Harold for at least 40 years. Harold was the nicest guy in the world, good-hearted, respectful. He was 100% best friend in the world. He had so many friends and everybody loved him that we used to almost fight for him. No, you're ready to time with them now, so I time to hang around with us. No, he was the kind of person that he didn't have enemies. There was only one enemy that he had. David. David was like a bully. He always used to give me a hassle. He hassled everybody. But one day, look what he did to us. Showed me a pistol. So I told him, you think I'm not protecting him? I have my own pistol. He didn't know what to do. He just got his pistol turned around, got an instruction left a letter, and he comes touring around with me again.
How long ago was this?
Maybe 8 years.
So, that's 1 year before this?
Yeah, give or take, within that time.
Was it a revolver, semi-automatic?
It was a revolver.
What, maybe a caliber?
It could have been a 22.
We know from our examination of the ballistics evidence that it's possible that Harold was shot with a .22 caliber weapon. And Arnold is saying that David threatened him with what could have been a .22 caliber revolver right before the murder. Could that be our murder weapon?
And Harold was the kind of person, he wasn't afraid of nothing. But he was afraid of David.
Thank you for coming down.
Harold's niece, Velma, has been a driving force in this case, and she might be our most important witness yet. We know about the house and the property that started the bitterness way long ago. And then there's the whole fight about the gate and the easement. We want to find out every single thing she knows about the property dispute and the history of David and Harold's relationship. To understand why two brothers would not like each other, the family history. Okay, so go back in time. What was the first thing?
My grandma got sick and got elderly. She probably had dementia by then. So then Harold started to care for my grandma. She transferred all the estate over to Harold.
Before she died, she gave it to Harold. Okay.
June 6, 2016. Harold and I took him to court. I said, David has to pay for the gate and pay for the remotes for everybody.
And eventually, that's what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Buffer went to go tell Harold that we have to shake David's hand. And he told Judge Buffer, you should worry about me when I come up missing. Outside the courthouse, Harold grabbed my arm and held me so tight. And he was crying uncontrollably, telling me that he has a feeling David's gonna kill him. He looked very scared.
A month before Harold ends up dead. In reviewing the court records, there's a recording of a 2015 hearing where Harold testified to David's violent threats. The trembling in his voice speaks volumes, and it puts in perspective the level of fear he had for David.
What about his past history makes you afraid, sir? Can you tell the judge why you're afraid, sir?
I'm afraid he'll kill me.
Based on everything that we just learned, just what are you thinking about wanting to go approach David? Do you want to talk to him, keep it easy?
We're going to tell him, hey, we're following up on this homicide. At that time, we can encourage him to come with us and talk to us.
All right, let's go. We know that David Behill had a motive to kill Harold, and we found witnesses that recall David threatening him. We know he had the opportunity because he lived right next door. And now we may have found the means, putting a gun in his hands right before the murder. David's intimidation struck fear in Harold and in this whole community. And if he's our killer, he needs to be off the streets.
David, Red River Sheriff's Office, come talk to us.
I'm Deputy Martinez, this is Deputy Colon.
Hopefully we can catch him in some little inconsistencies and strengthen the case. And I want to listen in but hide out so that he doesn't get spooked and doesn't talk to us at all.
We're following up on a case that happened in 2016 regarding Harold Sr.
I do nothing. You want to take me to court? I can take it to court. Did you ever have enough proof? Take me to court. I can take it.
You get along with your brother Harold?
Yeah.
You guys get along good? Okay, no problems.
He said they got along.
What do you think happened to Harold, your brother? You don't know?
I'm not here.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello?
Who are you? Okay, so who are you to him? Okay.
So we're talking to David Behill, and all of a sudden his niece shows up. We don't know if she sympathizes with David or suspects him, but it's an unexpected wrinkle we now have to account for in our questioning. What do you think happened to your brother?
Well, I know for a fact that somebody killed him. From there, I don't know.
What was the dispute about out here, David, with the gate?
My mother and father gave me this property from there to here. And then Harold told me, you're not going to go back where you're from. Go back. And from there on, no more change.
Was there a threat towards Harold of death with a pipe out here over that gate?
No. I'm going to go back to where I'm between the gate. And I'm not going to close everything.
So there were no other threats? But there were bad feelings over the gate.
Yeah.
You told me when you got here, you and Harold got along great all the time. But now you don't. See, your story keeps changing.
Everybody's telling us that Harold said that if he dies, you're the one that did it. You threatened him. He cried.
I can prove it.
Why was he so scared of you? Let me ask you this, Mr. Why is everybody in this community so scared of you?
You care who killed Harold?
I don't care.
You don't care. Okay. That I believe. That's the first thing I believe that you told me in a while.
You don't care what?
That who killed Harold? Why would he?
¿No te importa quién lo mató?
Oh my God.
You can't even look us in the eye.
Okay, that's enough.
David Behill was apathetic and shrugged off every question we asked. And when confronted with more pointed inquiries about his involvement, he said, prove it.
You had him saying he had no issues with Harold. The gate wasn't a big deal. And now you got him saying, I don't care what happened to Harold, showing no remorse. That much talking, y'all should be happy. Good morning, boys.
Morning.
Y'all eating some breakfast, getting fired up? We've talked to all of our witnesses. We have re-examined the forensic evidence and the crime scene, and now it's time for us to review everything that we've learned. We started off this week wanting to address that it's not some random person. There wasn't a single person in Harold's world that knew of an enemy that he had besides David.
You know, he got along with everybody.
There was no enemies.
It wasn't the time that would go out and pick a fight with somebody or have make enemies.
Is there anything that makes you want to go back and look at unknown suspects again or harder or anything like that? No. That leaves us with one remaining suspect on our board. Let's go over all the little things that point directly to David being the one who killed Harold.
He's mad over the fact that Harold got this property.
That it ought to be his. And that's the beginning of the resentment. And then in 2015, the gate easement thing blew up.
Right.
And then the whole court proceeding where you can hear Harold so scared with his voice shaking.
Can you tell the judge why you're afraid, sir?
I'm afraid he'll kill me.
Then David said what happened to that horse could happen to you.
I guess he's gonna kill me.
Threatening with the pipe, threatening with the gun, the pistol that Red told us about. That could be our murder weapon.
But one day, look what he did to us. Show me a pistol.
He pointed a pistol at him. Harold warned them all, if I end up dead, David did it.
He always said, if they find me dead, that SOB killed me.
And then when he is found, everybody's hysterical and crying except for who? David.
Carol killed Harold?
I don't care.
You don't care.
In the whole wide world, who would be out there wanting to kill Harold Behill?
David.
David. We built a circumstantial case against David Behill for the murder of his own nephew, Harold. Now it's time to present that evidence to First Judicial District Attorney Mary Carmack. Go ahead. You're waiting for justice. The family's waiting for justice. They've been waiting for a long time.
Most definitely.
Hello?
Hello. Morning.
Good morning. Thank y'all for coming all the way over here. Welcome.
We met with the district attorney. I got some good news for you guys. She feels we have enough probable cause to move forward. There's a couple things that me and George have to finish up. And once we do that, we're hoping that we can finally get you guys some closure.
Thank you.
Been a long time coming, huh?
Very long.
Well, as I told them a long time ago, they're gonna get you. He wouldn't want me to give up and not do nothing, and so I tried to do. So, it's the best news I could hear.
Everywhere we went, though, everybody just said wonderful things about your dad. And everybody was maybe just finally ready to tell everything they knew, even being scared. And that's why we're sitting here.
The truth always comes out.
Sometimes it takes way too long, though,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I believe he is looking down at us, and I'm sure he's smiling.
Just be patient a little bit longer.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, yes. All the hard work you guys did.
Oh, welcome. Harold was a good man, and he was a really great dad. You can see that in his kids.
Thank you so much.
They never stopped fighting to get their dad justice, and today they're closer than ever. I bet their dad would be proud.
You're fine.
And surrogate father to her children.
It's a big sigh of relief because men tend to shy away from that.
But now she's been missing for 3 days.
For her to just leave and not tell anyone was highly, highly suspicious.
She was on medication for several medical conditions.
The clock is ticking.
The family were putting up flyers.
They do a whole social media campaign.
The search will reveal buried secrets.
She's started dabbling in some kind of sexual fetish. She's been talking to a number of men on dating apps.
I was basically blind to everything that was going on.
But can detectives find her before it's too late?
Her phone started moving towards the Everglades.
They see a white pickup truck pull in and just sit there.
You know, the dumpsters here, they're for construction debris only.
There are garbage bags in the back.
November 7th, 2021. In this city nestled between the Atlantic and the Everglades, everyday life in Fort Lauderdale, Florida is never far from the water.
The reason why Fort Lauderdale was dubbed Venice of America was because of the waterway.
Fort Lauderdale is a beautiful city with plenty of palm trees, beautiful weather, plenty of beaches, and beautiful people.
But this Sunday, one of those people has suddenly gone missing.
On November 7th, Ernest Gordon called into the Broward County Police Department to let them know that he had not seen his wife, Wanda, in 3 days.
Last time I saw her was Thursday when she left for work.
When he came home that night at 6 p.m., she's not there.
Ernest said he wasn't worried at first.
Initially, he thought maybe she's with her friends, maybe she's blowing off steam.
But then she didn't come home at all that night.
And she didn't show up at work on Friday.
That's when he started to get worried.
Ernest had been constantly calling her, texting her. She was not responding.
I'm afraid something's happened to him.
She would never just leave without notifying anyone.
Ernest Gordon was Wanda's second husband. The 42-year-old mother of four had married Keith Morris when they were both teenagers.
When I first got with Wanda, I was 16 years old. You know, we were kids. But I actually admired Wanda from a distance at first. Every time I seen her, it's like she had a beautiful smile that lit up a room.
Once they were together, Wanda and Keith wasted little time before starting a family.
She became a family woman, and at the end of the day, it always was family first.
You have someone who is very attentive, very loving.
But going from teenagers to parents put a strain on their relationship.
She used to get me to do a lot of things, you know, that I really didn't feel like doing, but it's like we always argue.
Wanda and Keith eventually split up.
It was hard, you know, with the separation.
But the couple didn't divorce until after Wanda started dating Ernest Gordon.
They met while Wanda was working as a school crossing guard.
How you learn to handle all them kids?
Well, I do have 4 of my own.
4?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, and I love each and every one of them.
Usually in the dating pool, if a woman has children, men tend to shy away from that because that's responsibility. And so typically we as women, when we find a man that takes interest in us and our children, we're thinking, yep, this could be the right man for me.
Soon the two were seeing each other on a regular basis.
She meets this man who not only does she fall in love with, but he falls in love with her, he falls in love with her children, and most important of all, her children fall in love with Ernest.
He was very good to them.
3 years after her separation from her first husband, Wanda was ready to take a second chance with Keith's blessing.
I said, I see you happy, so let me go ahead and divorce you so you can get married to who you really want to be with.
Once her divorce was final, Wanda and Ernest married.
Ernest steps up. He takes on the children, especially the youngest, as if they were his very own. And it's a really nice, tight-knit, close family.
But now, the woman at the heart of that tight-knit family is missing, and no one has heard from her in 3 days.
I'm afraid something's happened to her.
An operator with the Broward County Sheriff's Office dispatches investigators to their home to file a missing persons report.
When police show up to interview Ernest, he's visibly upset, he's distraught, he's concerned.
He told them what he told the dispatcher over the phone, that he hadn't seen Wanda in 3 whole days.
Her purse is gone, and I can't find her phone.
The fact that her purse, her wallet, and her cell phone was missing may be an indication that she left on her own free will and that at the moment she did not want to be found.
Although how she left is unclear.
Ernest told detectives that Wanda's car was parked outside.
You think someone gave your wife a ride? I don't know.
Even if nothing happened and Wanda was fine, Ernest says she can still be in danger.
His wife was on various medications that she was taking on a daily basis.
She had a number of medical conditions. She had seizures, she suffered from depression, she had blood clots.
But according to Ernest, all of Wanda's pills are still in the cabinet.
And so with her being without her medication, there's a huge concern.
If she doesn't take her medicine, she could get real sick or worse.
They only had so much time to find her.
had made a fresh start with her second husband, Ernest.
It takes a special type of person to take on another man's children and raise them as if they were his own.
But now Ernest has called the Broward County Sheriff's Office to his home to report that Wanda is missing.
No one had heard or seen Wanda in 3 days.
She didn't have her medicine with her when she disappeared. So this is really troubling to Ernest.
But it's unclear if something had happened or if she'd left of her own accord.
It doesn't look like anything unusual happened in the residence.
But her purse and her cell phone were also missing.
However, if Wanda left, she may not have been alone.
Her car was in the driveway.
You think someone gave your wife a ride? I don't know.
But what Ernest says next adds an entirely new twist to the investigation.
Any idea if your wife was seeing someone else?
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure.
Ernest reveals that they were separated. They were still legally married, but separated and living in the house together.
It's my fault. We had a really good thing going, but I messed it up.
A year ago, Wanda had caught him cheating.
They're still living together because they want to have a united front for the children.
Ernest says that wasn't the only reason he stayed, though.
Ernest was on the page of, I want to fix this. I want to make this work. I have seen the error of my ways.
But he admitted that Wanda wasn't ready to believe him, much less take him back.
According to Ernest, that's why he wasn't at all concerned when she didn't come home Thursday night.
Maybe she was blowing off steam.
Or maybe she was looking to escape from her problems permanently.
You said one of her medicines was for depression, right?
Yeah.
The thought did occur that maybe she had done something to herself.
But when detectives ask, Ernest insists that suicide is out of the question.
Ernest said that there was no way that she had done anything to herself.
I can't believe she'd do that to the kids. She wouldn't want to hurt them like that.
When detectives follow up with Wanda's oldest son, who still lives in the home, he says his mother seemed fine the last time he saw her.
Wanda's 19-year-old son indicated that he had seen his mom on November 4th.
He saw her around 4 p.m. It was, business as usual. Her mood didn't seem off. Nothing raised any flags.
What exactly did she say to you?
We didn't talk a lot. She was on the phone.
You know who she was talking to?
Some guy, I think.
He knew his mom was dating after the recent separation with Ernest.
He told detectives that he wasn't sure if Ernest knew that Wanda had started dating again, but at the same time, Wanda was not trying to keep it a secret.
Exactly who she had been seeing? Her son had no idea.
All he knows is that was the last time he saw her.
Wanda's son shared with detectives that when he woke up on the morning of November 5th, he did not see his mother's car in the driveway around 7 o'clock.
Didn't really think anything of it. He went back to sleep.
When he woke up again around 8:30, he saw the car in the driveway.
So, Wanda's son had gone to her bedroom to check on her.
Ma, you home?
Wanda wasn't home, and it didn't look as if she'd been home the night before.
It looked as though she had not slept in the bed.
It was as if his mom had not even been there at all.
Her son's account fits with what Ernest told the police.
Ernest said he didn't see Wanda's car in the driveway when he left for work at 6 in the morning. So that leaves 90 minutes where no one had eyes on the driveway.
So someone had dropped the car off in that 90-minute window.
But where was Wanda now? And why would she leave without telling anyone?
Your mom and stepdad are separated, right?
Yeah, it's complicated.
They fight?
Sometimes.
They argued, but there was absolutely never any violence.
Ernest is he's a good guy. He's made some mistakes, but...
You think he had something to do with your mother being gone?
No, not Ernest.
He said he couldn't even fathom Ernest being violent.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Hoping to learn more about Wanda's love life, detectives return to the station and reach out to her sister, Lucy.
They spoke to each other not just daily, but several times a day.
She told Lucy everything.
Including things she didn't tell her husband.
So you knew Wanda was dating again?
Oh, yeah.
Wanda had been using social media and online dating to try and meet suitable gentlemen.
Wanda's sister was clear that she thought they weren't all that suitable, though.
She had met some guys that were kind of weird.
What do you mean, weird?
It's embarrassing.
She says her sister started dabbling in some kind of sexual fetish, and that a lot of the men that she's speaking to on these apps are also involved in this type of sexual fetish.
What kind of things were they into?
She didn't tell me much, but it all felt strange.
Okay, did she actually meet anyone?
Well, she had been talking to this one guy.
Lucy pressed her sister for details about the guy, but Wanda was a little reluctant to give too many details.
She didn't know the guy's name.
But she did know when they were planning to meet.
Their first date was supposed to be on the night of the 4th.
That was the night that she disappeared.
Wanda Gordon's sister has told detectives that on the night the mother of four went missing, Wanda had a date with a man she'd met online.
Wanda and this gentleman that she was preparing to meet with had only been communicating through social media. This would be their very first time meeting each other face to face.
She didn't tell me his name.
Did she tell you anything about him?
Just that he was into what she was.
Wanda seemed excited, but that's really all Lucy knew.
Could the mystery man Wanda met online have something to do with her disappearance?
What happens if they went on a date and that date went bad?
There's always a fear that kind of hovers around online dating and meeting people through social media.
Is it possible that she met somebody? Absolutely. Is it possible that somebody wanted to cause harm to her? Absolutely.
After talking to Wanda's sister, the detectives focus on identifying Wanda's online suitor.
To Lucy's knowledge, Wanda and this gentleman that she was preparing to meet with had only been communicating through the dating app.
Which is where the detectives run into a roadblock.
The detectives had no idea what her username was or her password or even the email that she used to get into the site.
While detectives are spinning their wheels in cyberspace, Wanda's family is on the street, spreading the word that she's missing.
They put up flyers, speak to people themselves. They do a whole social media campaign.
Media outlets began airing the story.
And before too long, their efforts produce results.
After seeing a story on the news, the man Wanda had gone out with reached out to detectives.
His name is Tyrone Watkins.
He was very cooperative, willing to answer all of their questions.
Tyrone confirms that he and Wanda had been messaging for over a month.
He shows them text messages, the normal pre-date flirting.
But did you actually meet?
Yeah, just that one time.
The first time they met was on November 4th.
Tyrone says they met near the beach in Fort Lauderdale.
Now, despite the fact that they hooked up on a fetish site, what Tyrone described was surprisingly tame.
They hung out and they chatted, and they had a really, really nice time.
But according to Tyrone, that's when he learned that Wanda hadn't been entirely upfront with him.
There's something I really need to tell you.
Wanda revealed to him that she was still married, but planning to leave her husband.
It didn't sit right with Tyrone.
He wasn't comfortable with dating a married woman.
That make her mad?
Nah, she was cool with it.
He says they parted on friendly terms.
Tyrone asked her to text him to let him know that she had made it home safely.
He's being the true gentleman. Make sure that the woman gets home safe.
Tyrone says she didn't actually text him until after 1 o'clock that morning.
By then, he was asleep.
Tyrone said he then texted Wanda later in the morning around 9:20, and he never heard back.
Any idea why it was so late when she texted you?
She said she was going to the beach for a while. She seemed like she had a lot on her mind.
You still have that text too?
Yeah, it's all here.
When the detectives examined Tyrone's cell phone, it appears he's telling the truth.
They confirmed that Wanda sent a text to him letting him know that she got home.
He also shows them a receipt from the parking garage that he was in, and it's time-stamped, it's dated.
And when detectives pull footage from the city's beachfront surveillance cameras, they confirm that Tyrone and Wanda parted ways amicably.
Nothing unusual happened. She didn't seem distressed or disturbed. It was just sort of a normal, nice date.
However, something doesn't add up.
Tyrone says that Wanda was home at 1:20 in the morning, safe and sound, but Ernest says his wife never came home at all. Both stories can't be right.
Detectives needed to speak with Ernest again about the inconsistencies in his story.
So this time, detectives call Ernest down to the station to answer additional questions.
You said she never came in?
Look, all I know is she wasn't home when I went to bed or when I left for work the next morning.
When was that?
I was asleep by 11:30 or so, and I leave for work at 6.
It's possible that she did come home, but he was sleeping.
Since they were sleeping in separate bedrooms, it's likely he wouldn't hear her come in.
So Ernest is standing by what he said.
However, he also has a new lead for the detectives.
Ernest offers up a new suspect, Keith Morris, Wanda's ex-husband.
Look, what I think y'all should do, in my opinion, is look into this Keith Morris. Him and Wanda, they was having custody issues.
According to Ernest, Keith had been acting strangely ever since Wanda went missing.
He says that after Wanda disappeared, Keith showed up at the house.
He's at the door. He wants the children.
I'm just here for my kids.
Right.
I don't want any problems.
They're in my house. They're gonna stay in my house.
For the missing mother of 4 should talk to her ex-husband, Keith Morris.
Ernest believes that Keith has orchestrated all of this so that he wouldn't have to pay child support and that he would have custody of his youngest 2 children.
What makes you think that?
He came by the house the day after she disappeared. Told me he wanted the kids.
Give the kids. They're my kids.
The kids said they did not want to go with their biological father.
According to Ernest, Keith wouldn't listen.
Come on, look, I don't want to do this, Ernest, but just let me have my, you know what?
Oh, you gonna call the cops?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Or you tripping?
He said that Keith had called the police and demanded they make Ernest turn over the children.
My kids are in that house. This man won't give me my kids.
They are his kids.
He won't even let me see them.
Okay, why don't you take a step over there? Let me talk to the kids. You can bring them out. Let me talk to them. Hey, step over here. Hey, let me talk to them real quick, okay? Guys, you guys have a choice.
When police officers spoke to the children made it clear that they wanted to stay with Ernest. They had been with him for the last decade.
At this point, Keith left the kids with Ernest, but he did come back with a court order demanding that the kids be put in his custody.
You said he pays child support?
Every month.
He wants the kids. He has motive to get rid of her. It's something that has to be looked at.
Following up on Ernest's tip, detectives asked Keith to come down to the station for questioning.
The question that they was asking was like, when the last time you been around your ex-wife? And I'm like, I didn't bring any type of harm to her.
He said there was a simple explanation for why he asked Ernest for the kids.
We have an agreement through our divorce. If one of the other parent is not here until you find out what's going on, the children have to go with the other parent.
Look, I know my rights. Those are my kids, not his.
But does that mean Keith did nothing wrong?
This pre-existing agreement could have strengthened his motive to want to get rid of Wanda.
Detectives hope that her cell phone can give them the answer.
Detectives subpoena her cell phone records.
They do a deep dive into these records to get a little more understanding of Wanda's steps the night of her disappearance.
Wanda's cell phone data showed that she did arrive home at 1:20 a.m., just as Tyrone had told the detectives.
But she wasn't home for long.
A couple of hours later, the GPS shows that she leaves again. Her phone started moving away from the home again at around 4 in the morning.
Both Ernest and Tyrone's stories might be correct. You know, Tyrone said she was home at 1:20, and Ernest said she may have left before he woke up at 6 a.m. And clearly, the GPS shows that she left at 4 a.m.
The GPS track leads west out of Fort Lauderdale towards the Everglades.
Her phone stopped in a rural area about 4:33 a.m.
GPS shows that her phone is there for a little while, maybe about 20 minutes, and then it shows that it leaves and goes to a different, secluded area.
The phone stays in that location until the battery ends up dying at around 1 o'clock in the morning on November 7th.
Police, retracing Wanda's steps, head out to the place where her phone was at 4:33 in the morning.
It turns out to be a large and well-secured construction site.
There are surveillance cameras everywhere around this construction site.
The owners did not want anyone coming out there stealing their equipment.
Well, after about 15 minutes, a Florida Wildlife Commission officer pulls up behind the pickup.
The Florida Wildlife Commission officer actually gets out of the car.
The wildlife conservation guy has a conversation with the guy in the white pickup truck. That's all documented on film.
Then they both leave the area.
The white pickup truck heads out, heading in the same direction, the same route. That Wanda's phone is, according to the GPS records.
Detectives reach out to the Florida Wildlife Conservation and are eventually able to locate the officer in the video.
When they asked him to come in and talk to them, the wildlife officer said that he approached the truck on a suspicion of illegal dumping.
He says that he assumed that that is what this gentleman was doing because he saw 3 large garbage bags in the bed of the truck.
He actually took a picture of the bags in the back of the truck.
Then he let the man off with a warning.
You know, the dumpsters here, they're for construction debris only.
He had a conversation with the gentleman about illegal dumping. The gentleman stated that that's not the reason he was there. He said he only came out there to clear his head because he had some things on his mind.
And based on what detectives learn next from the wildlife officer, they suspect that what the man had on his mind was murder.
All right. Drive safe.
Thank you, sir.
The driver was Ernest Gordon.
Wanda Gordon's disappearance have traced her husband Ernest to the same location as Wanda's cell phone at 4:30 on the morning she disappeared.
They have an eyewitness that puts Ernest at the scene, but Ernest told detectives that he was home sleeping all night long.
The lie isn't all that makes Ernest the prime suspect in what police now believe is a homicide.
The location where a wildlife officer approached Ernest was on the edge of the Everglades.
Unfortunately, at this point, the police are no longer looking for a missing person. They're actually looking for Wanda's body.
And detectives have a pretty good idea where they'll find it, too.
They had the GPS information from Wanda's phone.
The last known location of the cell phone before it died was a very swampy, wooded area in Tamarack, Florida.
Despite the difficult terrain, the searchers soon find something.
They find a black cell phone. They find several articles of clothing. They find red and black dreadlocks that actually match the dreadlocks that Wanda used to wear in her hair.
They also note an odor foul enough to pierce the pungent Everglades air.
Looks like probably something in there. Kind of looking. I didn't want to see how you have a lot of that decomp stuff around there.
You could possibly smell the decomp depending on how long she's been out there.
Tracing the odor to its source, the searchers start to uncover human remains.
It's one of two. The other one's over here.
Eventually, the gruesome search yields more remains.
They actually found a human jawbone and a skull.
The detectives assume they found Wanda, but the autopsy is unable to confirm it.
Just looking at the skull and at the jawbone, the medical examiner thinks that they belong to a female. But unfortunately, there's so much decay that they can't say for certain that these are Wanda's remains.
Whoever she was, the autopsy revealed how she died.
The medical examiner discovered a large fracture on the side of the skull and determined that this was the fatal wound.
However, before they can charge Ernest with murder, detectives will have to confirm that the remains are Wanda's.
They had to secure DNA from Wanda's daughter.
However, the results would take some time to find out if there was a match.
While they wait, the detectives attempt to put Ernest closer to the location where they found the remains.
They contact the Tamarack Police Department and they ask them if they can review traffic cameras.
Since it was deep in the swamp, there weren't any cameras in the close proximity where the police found the remains. But there were several in the broader vicinity.
Wouldn't you know it, right there, on tape, about 5 miles from the dump site, there's Ernest's truck, captured on camera.
However, there is one thing the camera doesn't capture.
The garbage bags are no longer in the back of Ernest's truck.
It looked like Ernest was engaged in a little illegal dumping after all.
To strengthen the evidence further, detectives also subpoena Ernest's cell phone records.
Police take a look now into Ernest's GPS to see if they can trace his movement to that particular location.
During the time that Wanda's phone was moving, Ernest's phone was not moving. In fact, his phone was still at the house.
They figured that he deliberately left his cell phone home to throw off the investigation.
However, the records also reveal that on the following night, Ernest neglected to leave his phone behind.
Ernest had traveled to the exact location where the remains were found at 11 o'clock that night on November the 5th.
Was he checking to make sure that the body was not visible, was not in plain sight?
For him to go back to that location showed that he knew where she was at. It showed that he was involved.
With proof putting Ernest at the location where the body was found, the detectives bring him in for another round of questioning.
We just want to go over your movements on November 4th and 5th.
Okay, but I already told you guys everything.
Everything?
But then he remembers something he hadn't told them.
When they asked him about the Florida Wildlife Commissioner stopping him that evening, he stated that he had forgot that he had gone out.
He claimed that he was just driving around to clear his head.
Then he said he went straight home.
You didn't stop and throw anything away?
What do you mean?
According to the wildlife officer, you had some garbage bags in the back of your truck.
He's got an answer for that, too. He says, oh, those bags were from some landscaping I had done.
He said he threw them out a few days later.
You sure about that?
The police keep putting pressure on Ernest.
Officers informed him that his pickup truck had been caught on a traffic camera.
And eventually, Ernest starts to crack.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know where.
When detectives confront Ernest Gordon about the suspicious drive he took to the Everglades the night his wife Wanda disappeared, they believe his response is telling.
He breaks down, he's devastated, he's crying.
But Ernest's tears aren't followed by a confession.
I don't know what happened. Look, I don't know anything.
In spite of all of this evidence that they are presenting before him, he maintains that he does not know what happened to Wanda.
He didn't admit that he killed her. He didn't deny it. He basically just had no explanation.
Instead, he stops the interview and asks for an attorney.
I want a lawyer.
They say, is it because you had something to do with your wife's disappearance or death? He refuses to answer.
Detectives are sure they found Wanda's killer. All they lack is proof that they found her.
The remains, the skull and the jawbone, haven't been identified yet.
They have no confirmation as to who that body was, so they had to let Ernest go.
But even as Ernest walks, the detectives keep digging.
Officers have enough evidence to get a search warrant for the Gordon's home and also for Ernest's white pickup truck.
They searched both using a chemical called luminol, which reacts with blood under black light.
They find blood. Lots of blood in Wanda's bedroom.
The luminol test also finds blood in the back of Ernest's pickup.
It revealed traces of blood in the same area where those 3 trash bags were located, on the back of Ernest's truck.
Between the blood, cell phone records, and other evidence, the detectives develop a clear picture of how the crime most likely occurred.
They had a theory that Ernest was actually up waiting for Wanda to come home, knowing that she had been out on a date.
Wanda returned home from her date around 1:20 in the morning, and Ernest was waiting. And Ernest was mad.
Stop! I know what you've been doing. It's not your business what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell you.
They got into an argument over either the divorce or the infidelity, her moving on and going out and dating other people.
He was not able to handle the fact that she was out seeing other people.
So, the situation escalated.
Don't you walk away from me!
Ernest had lost control. Not just in the heat of the moment, he lost control over how Wanda saw him when the infidelity happened.
And desperate to regain it, he lashed out.
Ernest must have picked up a blunt, heavy object and hit Wanda.
He hit her on the side of the head, which was fatal.
Once he realized what he did and that she was dead, he tried to cover it up.
And now all detectives need is the one piece of evidence to tie everything together. Wanda's DNA.
On December 9th, the results are in, and it shows conclusively that the remains found in the swamp are those, unfortunately, of Wanda Gordon.
An arrest warrant was issued for Ernest. He was taken into custody the very next day.
He's charged with second-degree murder.
As a trial date approaches, Ernest faces reality.
His lawyer came to me and told me out front that he doesn't want to go to trial. The agreement was that in return for a guilty plea, he would be sentenced to 50 years in Florida State Prison.
It's also essentially a life sentence.
He is in his 40s, so he will be in his 90s when and if he ever gets out.
But no matter how long Ernest spends in prison, it doesn't ease the pain of losing Wanda.
You took somebody away despite the ups and downs that me and her had. You took somebody away that is dear to me and my children.
The family's going to be feeling the fallout of that.
He was a dedicated coach and mentor.
He was passionate about coaching students in high school.
His players loved him.
Dion, you know these plays.
He was a father figure to them.
But off the field, he was a player too.
He was dating multiple women.
I've always known him to be friendly with the ladies.
He's just having fun and loving life.
Until it came to a shocking end.
There's a foul odor coming out of the house.
He's been shot multiple times.
These kinds of crimes are passion-filled. There was no denying it was rage.
He better watch his back.
And there is no shortage of suspects.
It was such an unveiling of secrets that came out. His lifestyle didn't fit into the mold.
Couples wanted to meet other couples. They just wanted to have sexual experiences.
Perhaps we're dealing with a jealous husband.
I really liked him, Steve.
And a couple of weeks later, he dead.
2016. For most of the country, September signals the start of fall. But in Houston, Texas, it's the beginning of something bigger. Football season.
Everything's bigger in Texas, but high school. Football, especially in Houston, is large. It's a large part of our community. Friday nights, when the lights go up, it brings out a culture that doesn't exist in other places.
Friday nights are something that people live for down here. It's a ritual. They just get together and watch the game together, and win or lose, there's a camaraderie about it that brings people together.
And when someone misses a game, people notice.
Oh, hey, go right there. Hold on. What's up, sis? Hey, what's up? Sorry, I'm late, man. Y'all Kev here yet? Man, I ain't seen him.
So that Friday night, when Clear Lake Academy takes the field in their season opener, and Coach Kevin Roman is nowhere to be found, his friend Cedric is starting to worry.
Hit him up, see what's up.
Kevin was a beloved coach at Houston's Clear Lake Christian Academy.
Hey, yo, Kev, man, where you at?
He knew that his friend had gone out of town recently, but he had planned to be back.
He had like this weird feeling in his gut that something was wrong.
Kevin really loved Clear Lake Christian Academy. He was fully committed to everything that he was a part of there.
The students that he was coaching truly felt like they were a part of his family.
They're shocked. They just cannot believe that he's not right there front and center for them.
Hit me up, bro.
Cedric tries to reach Kevin multiple times, but never gets a response.
That's very odd. Usually they would have talked by now.
By the following day, there is still no word from Kevin.
So on Saturday night, he drove over to Kevin's house over in Sunnyside on the southeast end of Houston.
He goes to that house hoping that it's just all just big misunderstanding.
That appears to be the case when he arrives at Kevin's house.
There's no car in the driveway.
Maybe something had come up and Kevin was still out of town.
Still, he decides to knock on Kevin's door just to be sure.
He notices that something's wrong. The wooden front door is open, but the burglar bar looks closed. Something just doesn't feel right.
Hey, Kev, open up the door, man.
The burglar bar was locked.
He hears a TV going.
Oh.
That's when it hit him. He started to smell a foul smell that begins to turn his stomach.
I can only imagine the sinking feeling in his gut.
He knows something is extremely wrong.
Kevin Roman was one of the most popular football coaches in the Houston area.
His players loved him, his colleagues thought highly of him.
He's loved by his family. He's loved by his friends. He is a likable guy.
He took a lot of pride in his work. He took a lot of pride in his position in these boys' lives.
A Grambling State alum from Louisiana, Kevin had moved to Houston for a coaching job at Clear Lake Christian Academy.
We're gonna win. Right.
Kevin Roman is a guy with a strong foundation, a strong Christian foundation.
Yeah.
Kevin was the son of a preacher.
Godly principles was something he had been taught since he was just a baby and growing up. And so he, in turn, tried to give that back to those around him.
Let's bow our heads. Go into prayer.
Students he taught, the football players he coached, his friends.
In other words, Clear Lake Christian appeared to be a perfect fit.
Kevin was passionate about the Clear Lake community.
Clear Lake Christian embraced its youthful new coach, too.
In the communities that surround Houston, the coaches and the families all are unified as one big family. Oftentimes you find that the families look up to the coaches. They are bigger than life, almost like heroes.
A lot of people are looking at you and depend on you, but it is a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. Your position is very, very public.
With football in this community specifically, football coaches can easily become the local celebrities.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Miss Anderson.
How you doing?
Parents loved him. It was clear that they loved him.
It's nice to see you.
All right, it's nice to see you, too.
And Kevin was just as popular off the field.
Kevin is a single guy. He's very involved on the dating scene. He enjoys dating multiple women, being involved in multiple relationships.
He has a lot of charisma. You know, he's a people person. He's a ladies' man.
Who's that, man? His girl from the other night.
Oh, okay.
I actually got her number when she was walking down the street.
He's just having fun and enjoying himself and loving life.
But now, this beloved coach is missing, and his friend Cedric fears the worst.
Houston Fire and Medical, what is your emergency there?
I have a friend that I haven't heard from for a week. I came by. It looks like the door is propped open, and there's a foul odor coming out of the house.
Within minutes of the 911 call, Houston police arrive at Kevin's rental home.
When a call comes in to law enforcement from someone saying, something's not right, and I smell a foul odor coming from my friend's home, that's a priority.
They make forced entry.
Inside, they find the house in disarray.
There was packaged food lying around. There was empty bottles and trash that's strewn about.
However, despite the mess, it appears that the odor is coming from deeper in the house.
First responders traced it back to the master bedroom.
Sadly, they make the discovery.
They do find a body.
It's not just the love of the sport, it's the love of the people in the sport.
He really enjoyed being a part of the children's lives.
But now, after a worried 911 call, Houston police have discovered a decomposing body in Kevin's master bedroom.
The body was too decomposed for a positive identification. But since it appeared to be a black male, police believe that it was Kevin.
And it's obvious he didn't die of natural causes.
He's been shot multiple times.
There are bullet wounds around his neck. There's bullet wounds in his chest.
Officers also find 11 .45 caliber shell casings lying on the bedroom floor.
To be shot 11 times, right there indicates a passion killing.
There are also several neckties tied to the bed frame.
It seemed as if someone was tied up.
Are the detectives dealing with some sort of domestic drama?
It could have been someone that he was dating.
There was no forced entry. So that's an indicative that he knew his killer.
Based on the evidence, detectives definitively rule out a robbery gone wrong.
They realize that very valuable electronics are still hanging on the wall. His wallet is still in plain view with almost $100 worth of cash.
The only things missing are Kevin's phone and his vehicle.
Did the person who did this steal the car?
That is a physical piece of evidence that we need to locate.
After issuing a be on the lookout for Kevin's missing Jeep, detectives ask his friend Cedric to come down to the station for a formal statement.
They want to know socially who he had relationships with.
Stress, right? We should come down.
Cedric begins by explaining that he's known Kevin for a long time.
1997, we met playing high school football against one another.
He's one of those friends that you're going to touch base with every weekend.
Which was one of the main reasons Cedric has gone over to Kevin's house to check on him.
I imagine in a million years he never thought what he was about to walk in on.
Hoping to get to the bottom of what happened to Kevin, detectives start by asking Cedric about his friend's love life.
That's when Cedric explained that Coach Kevin was a player on and off the field.
I've always known him to have different relationships or sexual partners.
He was dating multiple women.
It appears that none of them were really his girlfriend.
However, Cedric insists that didn't make Kevin a bad guy.
Because I can honestly say that even the girls he was just sleeping with, he still had a level of compassion and concern.
In fact, Cedric says that Kevin was always upfront with the women he was dating.
Kevin was very transparent to the people that he was with. He told them that he was talking to multiple people.
Detectives had to consider whether the women that Kevin was seeing were casual and easygoing about relationship as he was.
Some, women get more attached than maybe you want them to be.
If Kevin was a player, perhaps we're dealing with a jealous girlfriend.
It opens it up to a point where maybe one of these women wanted something more or that he didn't want to give. Or
he never complained about any young lady.
Additionally, Cedric says that he doesn't know much at all about the various women Kevin had been seeing.
Mostly just our conversations for, hey, I was out last night and I met this girl, never really in detail.
He says the most recent exploit Kevin shared with him was typical of their exchanges.
He was just driving around the neighborhood, driving home, and he saw a young lady walking. It just seemed like, I guess she shouldn't be in the neighborhood. And so he stopped and had a conversation with this particular person, and this young lady came by his home, either that night or the next night, but he never mentioned a name.
He said Kevin rarely named names.
My name's Kevin, by the way.
In fact, the only thing he really knows about her isn't exactly helpful for detectives.
Kevin mentioned her as having a big booty.
That was Kevin, so I didn't think anything out of the ordinary.
While Cedric offers detectives considerable insight into Kevin's life, it doesn't bring them much closer to finding his killer.
There was multiple people. It could have been.
Kind of sees a lot of different women.
Yes, sir.
Which is fine. It's a lifestyle.
But Cedric reveals the bachelor life wasn't the only lifestyle he was living.
A year back, he actually invited me to this Facebook group. People were setting up parties and meetings with one another.
The sort of meetings and parties that are at secretive hotels and clubs.
That it was a swingers party.
Football coach was also involved in Houston's swinging community.
There was a Facebook page set up with all the people that were having these different types of parties.
So in this Facebook group, the primary purpose of the most part is to set up sexual engagements with them.
Sexual engagement parties, people just wanting to have sexual experiences with other people, that kind of thing.
So he had multiple people that he was talking with.
It could be couples to couples, it could be singles to singles,
yes, sir.
Singles with couples.
Yes, sir.
Just no real rule set or anything, just kind of anything goes.
No, not that I know of.
All Cedric knows for sure is that very few people in Kevin's life knew about his foray into the swinging world.
When it comes to sexual alternative lifestyle, quietness and discreetness is very important.
Kevin was a beloved coach at a Christian academy, so he had even more reason to be discreet.
His lifestyle didn't fit into the mold of what was expected.
After talking to Cedric, the detectives delve into the shadowy online world of Houston's swinging community.
Investigators try to figure out, whether or not there was a lead there.
Finding one would take time. There are lots of different groups, and most users go by pseudonyms.
Detectives also follow up on their one solid lead, Kevin's missing Jeep.
They contacted the dealership in which Kevin Roman purchased his Jeep from, and the dealership let him know, hey, we're able to track it because there should be a GPS device on it.
In most of these cases, GPS trackers are used for repossessions.
They want to get their car back, too, so they have a vested interest.
Just get it to me as soon as you can.
In assisting in this investigation.
The GPS data shows that Kevin's Jeep was parked at his house until the morning of September 4th.
But on the morning of September 5th, it pinged at another location. It's about 10 minutes from Kevin's house.
In the days after his death, it's given the same location.
Using the GPS information from the tracking device, detectives locate Kevin's Jeep.
It's been abandoned in a parking lot several miles from Kevin's house.
They found some of his stuff inside, and they found his cell phone.
The phone has been smashed, and the battery removed.
There had to have been some information that was stored or that was inside the phone that the person wanted concealed.
Could there be incriminating text messages or photos between Kevin and his killer?
Maybe Kevin bumped into somebody at a swingers party that he knew from real life.
Clear Lake is a very small, tight-knit community. Most people know each other, or their children have gone to school with one another. And being a part of a swingers community, it raised a lot of red flags.
Hoping for answers, detectives send the cell phone off to the lab.
Despite the condition of the phone, there's a chance that computer forensics can reconstruct some of the data.
But while they're waiting, the detectives get a call from Kevin's landlord.
What he tells them introduces a new level of the investigation.
Kevin is about 3 months behind on his rent.
The landlord wanted the detectives to release the apartment so he could rent it out again and recoup some of the money.
He also explains why Kevin was short of cash.
Kevin had recently lost his position at Clear Lake Christian after a new coach was hired.
Unfortunately, due to the politics of football, once a new head coach came in, he decided that he wanted to pretty much clean house, and he let Kevin Roman go.
He's had to take a job that he's not getting paid as much as he was.
That put him in a bind financially.
Could Kevin's money troubles have something to do with his death?
Maybe this is not a jealous lover at all. Maybe this is somebody who's upset about their money that Kevin may have owed them.
The theory sounds even more plausible after another friend of Kevin's reaches out to detectives.
He told detectives that Kevin owed one of his old girlfriends money.
Her name is Nikita Woodson.
Nikita Woodson has gone to social media about how upset she is about the amount of money that Kevin owes her.
And when Kevin's friend sits down with detectives, he says she was looking to collect.
He said he was at Kevin's house one night alone when Nikita showed up.
Tell Kevin to come in.
He's not here.
She came over there and talked about where Kevin at, where Kevin at, where Kevin at. He owed me some money, he owed me some money. I'm like, I don't know where you at.
He said he called Kevin and told him that Nikita was looking for him.
He didn't want to talk to her.
And according to Kevin's friend, that had only made Nikita angrier.
You don't want to talk to me?
She was angry. And kind of like, if I have to say, it was more threatening than anything.
He better watch his back.
She gonna get the rest of her money somehow.
She decided to post some social media statuses about him owing her money.
And a couple of weeks later, he did.
Have learned that one of the coach's many ex-girlfriends had made threats against him.
He better watch his back.
She's upset because Kevin Roman owes her money.
Kevin was let go from the teaching job, so he was really struggling.
Not that it mattered to Nikita.
She probably loaned him money thinking that she was going to get it back. So hoping to embarrass him, she decided to post some social media statuses about him owing her money.
She made a post about the situation. What would you do about somebody that owe you money? She even called him out.
Kevin's friend has receipts too.
I could just show you her Facebook page.
She's made several posts about how upset she is about the amount of money that Kevin owes her.
What's even more interesting for detectives is that Kevin's friend can only show them screenshots of Nikita's posts.
Once news got around that Kevin was dead, Nikita had apparently deleted all her angry posts about him.
So now they're wondering, is she just trying to cover her tracks?
She was a key person to look at.
Okay. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. Show you out.
But when detectives attempt to locate Nikita, it turns out they don't have to go far to find her.
She was in jail when the murder most likely occurred.
Police confirm that she was in jail on a probation violation.
She could not have possibly been the person that did this.
In the days and weeks that follow, detectives chase down every lead they possibly can.
This included going through Kevin's social media.
They wanted to find out who was connected to him or who he was seeing romantically.
Still got Kevin's Facebook page up. I would like you to take a look at it. All right?
Then detectives circle back with Kevin's friends.
At this point, we've been building a lot of profiles to try and get out who people are. Many of these people look familiar.
She did look familiar, but I don't remember her name.
Unfortunately, because of the private lifestyle that Kevin had, a lot of people use anonymous type profiles.
All the leads that investigators had, they had worked as much as they could.
But all of those leads bring detectives to a dead end. And 3 years pass as Kevin's case goes cold.
Kevin's family likely went through a gut-wrenching couple of years to not have enough evidence to figure out who it was. It's almost like a gap, and you can't fill it.
And Kevin's family aren't the only ones suffering.
You also have the students that he made an impact on.
They were fighting for justice for him, the way he fought for them on the field.
With each passing year, the hope that Kevin's killer would eventually be caught begins to fade.
Something like this will happen in the community, and then people tend to forget about things.
But the Houston police haven't given up on finding Kevin's killer.
They have protocols in place. You don't just get to shelve that case. They also have what's called cold case units that look at old cases.
In July of 2019, the cold case unit reopens the Kevin Roman murder file.
So now we've got a fresh pair of eyes that are looking at this case.
The first thing of interest to the new detective is the demolished phone found in Kevin's Jeep.
They thought with advancements in technology, something could be recovered. But in the meantime, they pulled the phone records.
They crushed the phone, so clearly anything linked to the phone should be investigated.
Sifting through Kevin's phone records, the cold case detective spots something intriguing.
There's a pattern in this one phone number that stopped calling him on the day that he died.
All of Kevin's other friends were still reaching out.
Does the person behind the mystery number know something the rest of Kevin's friends don't?
Why call a dead man?
Okay.
When the detective runs the number, it comes back to a woman named LaQuinta Johnson and her brother, Derek Brown.
They had one line that they shared. Both of their names were on it.
The brother and sister also shared an apartment.
And you'll never guess where.
Derek Brown and his sister, LaQuinta, live directly across the street from where the Jeep was abandoned.
Now, if you're a detective, your heart's racing. This is a lead, this is the hunt.
Ace believes he has identified 2 potential suspects in the murder of the beloved football coach.
There is somebody constantly calling Kevin and vice versa. And suddenly, from about the time that they believed Kevin was murdered, there's no communication at all.
The number that had suddenly stopped calling belongs to LaQuinta Johnson and her brother, Derek Brown.
They lived across the street from where the car was found.
So now the detective is thinking, did Kevin have a relationship with LaQuinta?
Or was Derek possibly the connection? Hoping to learn more, the detective runs background checks on the siblings.
When you look up both names, one person has a criminal record, Derek.
It was mostly petty stuff, nothing that screamed hardened killer.
But there is one seemingly minor incident on Derek's rap sheet that raises a red flag. A routine traffic stop on September 12th, 2016.
That's 2 days after they find Kevin's body.
There was a weapon in the car.
It was a .45 caliber handgun.
It's the same type of weapon that killed Kevin.
He was thrown in jail for unlawfully carrying of a weapon.
He's a convicted felon and can't legally own the gun.
However, the gun charges were eventually dropped.
His girlfriend claims that that is her gun, and so he is released.
But the gun was still sitting in the department's evidence room.
Suspecting they've had the murder weapon this entire time, the detective retrieves the gun and sends it to the crime lab.
Through ballistics, they had ascertained that that gun matched up with the bullets found at the crime scene.
Sure enough, it is actually the gun that killed Kevin.
But does that mean Derek killed Kevin?
Just because he had the gun in his car does not automatically mean he did it.
Or could it be LaQuinta? Police have reason to believe that's the case when they receive the result of the crime lab's forensic work on Kevin's phone.
The attempt had been made to smash it, but they were able to still get inside the phone.
The detective finds the number Derek and LaQuinta shared listed in the contacts.
There was no name, just cue big booty, she was walking home.
Could LaQuinta be the same woman that Kevin told his friend Cedric about shortly before the murder?
This was early August. He was just driving around the neighborhood and he saw a young lady walking.
He noted that she had a big booty.
The information recovered from Kevin's phone also reveals that he and LaQuinta started talking around August 12th, 2016.
They're able to find numerous exchanges between her and Kevin.
You got 2 texts, bro.
This girl from the other night. I actually got her number when she was walking down the street.
The flirty messages suggested a sexual relationship.
Then, on September 1st, came a sudden flurry of text messages from LaQuinta to Kevin.
She was just furious.
She accused him of cheating on her.
Kevin tried his best to calm LaQuinta down.
He asked her to come over on September the 3rd of 2016.
And sometime within the next few hours, he was dead.
Based on when Kevin went silent, the detectives suspect that the murder occurred in the early morning hours of September 4th.
The puzzle pieces begin to fall into place.
Although when the detective subpoenas LaQuinta's phone records, there's a piece missing.
They see that her phone was actually turned off on September the 3rd. And then on September the 4th, her phone is turned back on.
The first ping when her phone turned back on was at 6:01 a.m. on September 4, 2016.
The tower her phone connects to is near her apartment,
which also happens to be near where police found Kevin's Jeep.
The first call she makes after that is to another number registered to her brother, who was later arrested with the murder weapon in his car.
So this shows some unusual behavior.
Digging deeper, the detective learns that LaQuinta also received several calls from her brother while he was in jail on the weapons charge.
This was after the traffic stop where, although they did not know it at the time, police located the murder weapon.
Well, the police pulled the phone records.
When you're inside of a police building or in the county jail, all of your activities are seen, all of your phone calls recorded.
Hello?
And what the tapes reveal is damning.
I thought you were gonna get rid of it.
I can't trace it back to him. He's telling her, don't worry about it.
But they're gonna come after you for it.
Investigating the murder of beloved high school football coach Kevin Roman has uncovered a series of potentially incriminating jailhouse phone calls between LaQuinta Johnson and her brother, Derek Brown.
The calls occurred when Derek was in jail, after officers found a .45 caliber handgun in his possession during a traffic stop.
He was caught with the murder weapon.
But does that mean he was Kevin's killer?
I told you. I told you what to do with it.
After listening to Derek's conversation with LaQuinta, the detective isn't so sure.
What is she saying? I can't let you do time for me. And other indications implying that perhaps she is the killer and not her brother.
I'll tell you after you're done. Get up. Your hands better. Sorry. Why is y'all arresting me, sir?
Based on the evidence in the tapes, Houston police take LaQuinta into custody and bring her in for questioning.
They get what's called the probable cause warrant.
She started out trying to minimize her relationship with Kevin.
Did you ever go out with a guy named Kevin Roman?
Kevin. Yeah, the name just sounds familiar, though.
Okay. If I show you a picture, maybe it'll help refresh your memory. This guy?
Yes. We dated, not nothing serious.
Fed up with LaQuinta's stonewalling, the detective cuts to the chase.
All I know is you're involved with Kevin up until September 4th, and then you never called him. And you're at his place, and then you leave that morning. And his car ends up parked at the complex across the street from where you were living at the time. And your brother shows up with the gun that killed him. There's got to be an explanation for that, LaQuinta.
Begins to look like, her brother is going to go down for this.
That's all it takes for LaQuinta to crack.
Just leave my brother out of this because he did not have nothing to do with it. He never gave me no gun. None of that.
Then what happened?
I'm telling you what happened, sir. He didn't have nothing to do with it.
She didn't want to feel guilty about her brother going down for something that she did.
You did?
I did it. I did it, sir.
She begins to confess, to tell him this is what really happened.
LaQuinta admits to meeting up with Kevin the night of September 4th, 2016.
They went out, they went back to his house, and they had sex.
But then, after Kevin had fallen asleep, she decided to do a little snooping.
I went through the phone.
Okay.
I got jealous. I liked him. He was sweet and just.
She apparently had feelings for Kevin Roman that he was not returning.
She wanted to be in a relationship with a man who didn't want to be in a monogamous relationship with her.
I felt played.
She was experiencing a lot of intense emotions. Things like rage, anger, extreme sadness, frustration.
According to LaQuinta, all those emotions took over on the night of the murder.
And that gun was not in Kevin's house, that was yours?
I brought it with me. Like I always carry it with me.
And that night, she used it.
I stood over him and shot him in the head.
Her act was impulsive. The shooting of him was very impulsive, and it is congruent with someone who doesn't have emotional regulation.
Before the detectives book her into the jail on murder charges, LaQuinta records a video for her brother.
Whatever you have to do, you tell them, you testify against me, you didn't know nothing about it. You didn't have anything to do with it. I did everything myself. I'm sorry, bro, for even putting you in this. I love you.
Exonerated by his sister's confession, Derek Brown faces no charges related to Kevin's death.
Investigators chose not to go down the road of charging Derek Brown with tampering with evidence, and he could have been very much so liable for that. But in the grand scheme of things, more than likely the investigators looked at, we have the murder, we got the confession.
In December of 2021, more than 5 years after the murder of Kevin Roman, LaQuinta Johnson pleads guilty to murder.
By doing a plea deal, It saves the state a lot of money. It saves a lot of time, a lot of effort. It also guarantees that that person will be convicted.
She is sentenced to 45 years.
She will more than likely end up dying behind bars.
I believe justice was served. But justice is a tricky thing to pin down. It is very subjective. What one person thinks is justice is not for the next person.
Even with people saying, well, it should be a life for a life, even then, it doesn't feel like enough, because what really is going on is a condition of the heart. It's the condition of love and missing someone.
I need you. This team needs you, all right?
People lost a good friend, a coach, a family member.
I need you guys on the team.
And there's not anything that is tangible that can ever replace a human's life, right? There's no amount of money, there's no amount of time. It's literally just a